Hello and welcome back to the RGVSports.com RGV Hoops podcast. We are here to bring you some exciting high school playoff basketball coverage, a little bit of updates from the girls' side where things are already getting underway, and the boys' side where things are just about to get underway. We will pick every single game that you can see in the next week, and then you will know exactly what you're looking forward to the coming schedule. So we're going to get right into it. I'm joined by our girls basketball beat writer, John LaFollette. Say hi.
Hey, Greg.
And our boys basketball beat writer, Mario Aguirre.
Hello, Greg.
So I think we should start with the girls because they're a little bit farther on in the schedule, and we've already seen a round of playoff action. Does that sound good to y'all?
That's fine by me.
Okay, so John, we just saw the first round of games. We saw the entire by-district game and a couple of play-ins as well. So take me through what was the biggest game or the best game of the first round from your perspective.
From my perspective, at least among 6A and 5A teams, the best game, in my opinion, was a game that I was at on Tuesday. It was Mercedes versus Edinburgh Vella. This game was really close all the way through. The final score was Edinburgh Vella 41, Mercedes 37. This game was so close through and through, as I said. Every possession counted, every possession mattered, each shot mattered. Mercedes got out to an 8-0 lead, and then Vella responded with a 6-0 run of their own. And from there on, it was back and forth the rest of the way. And like I said, every possession mattered, and it came down to the last 40 seconds in this game to ultimately decide it. So that was a lot of fun. That was every bit as fun and as exciting a game as I thought it would be. I was really satisfied with that one.
This was your pick for upset of the week, and it did come through. And along the same lines, kind of a similar theme that I'll jump ahead to is that District 31 5A went 4-0 against District 32 5A. Did you see this coming when you were looking ahead at the schedule and the matchups?
Yes, because it happened last year too. Mm-hmm. So 31 5A is now 8-0 against 32 5A teams. If any team was going to win, I felt like it could be Mercedes because, yes, I put them on upset alert, but at the same time, I've said this all year, they are a very strong team, and you could see why they're a strong team in this Vella game, even though they lost. They did a lot of things well despite some of their shortcomings. They were the shorter team. They were the smaller team, I should say, by far and away in this game. At the tip-off, Bianca Cortez of Edinburgh Vella, volleyball player, is their center. She's out there for the tip, and then Mercedes is center, air quotes. She's a whole head shorter than Bianca Cortez was. But despite giving up the size, they were scrappy. They did not allow too many easy bunnies inside. Like I said, it was close the whole way through. But, the thing with Mercedes, I always said was, they're good, but I wonder how prepared they are, just given the fact that 32-5 is not a very strong district, and the fact that Vella's been in playoff mode for the last couple of weeks here. They were experienced and they were ready to go. And in the clutch moments when they needed a bucket, Vella's experience in tough times, really paid dividends for them. So.
Interesting. Yeah, that did go as you expected. And then there was another district that went winless, which was 36A. It went 0-4 against the schools from Laredo. Was that something that you thought might happen for them?
Yeah, because again, it happened last year too. There were two teams. I picked Rowe and McAllen Memorial to win. Both of those games were decided by single digits, and especially McAllen Memorial. They were up 6 points with a minute and a half to go, and they ultimately lost by 3 there to Laredo United South, who will play Westlake High. I was really looking forward to a McAllen Memorial Westlake High game. I thought that was going to be really entertaining. And as far as McAllen Rowe versus Del Rio, they only lose by 4 to Del Rio, and I guess they made a fourth quarter comeback. They were down by, I believe, 10 points, something like that. Coach Buckernagger of PSG North was there at that game because he was playing the winner of that game, so he was sending me updates. It sounded like Rowe made a comeback there, but the clock ran out on them, and unfortunately their season had to come to an end. But shouts to both those teams for having the seasons that they did. I picked them both to win, but man, I just couldn't come up close there. But PSG North will play Del Rio in the area round, so I guess if we're going to talk about that here in a second as well.
In the 31 6A versus 32 6A matchups, it seemed like there were some pretty one-sided games, and then one good one that jumped out to me, which was one I believe you covered, was Brownsville Veterans beating Edinburgh High.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that game. I think you picked Edinburgh High, so was this result a surprise for you?
Wasn't a surprise because Brownsville Vets has been in our top 5 all year long on our RGVSports.com poll. And Brownsville Vets got the win 49-40. That game was at Edinburgh High. That was on Monday. That game was 49-40, but watching the game, it felt like it was much more of a bigger point disparity than that. Jordan Rudd. The story of this game is Jordan Rudd. She got hot. She scored 30 points.
Yikes.
And in the third quarter, she hit back-to-back threes. And she's not a particularly great three-point shooter, but she just got hot. And she was shooting from deep. Like, there was one three. It was almost by the volleyball line. And, like, she even did, like, a Kobe pose after she let it go. Nice. And it just banked in off the glass. Like, what are you what are you going to do? Like, you can't really guard in that situation if you're Edinburgh High.
Did she hold the pose after it banked in?
No, not after it banked in.
Okay.
She did like one of those. She pumped her fist and
you can't do that.
Well, they were hyped because that was breaking the game wide open at that point because Edinburgh High's offense really struggled in this game.
If you bank it in three, you gotta like shrug or like scratch your head. You gotta pull some kind of like
or like do like a Carmelo Anthony. Like,
sorry, it's not. You can't be like, oh, I did it.
But well, I mean, when you score,
that's just my personal.
When you score 30 points and you go ham
30,
from three, you can do whatever you want.
When you score 30, I'll give you a pass.
Edinburgh High's offense really didn't really go anywhere in this game. They really struggled, and they went 8 of 25 from the foul line. And you're not going to win games like that. They couldn't handle the ball that well either. There was a lot of turnovers, and when you turn over the ball that much and you get beat on the glass that much, and you let Jordan Rudd go ham like that, that's not really going to bode well for your team. That's why the rematch. These two teams played this season ago. In the bi-district round, same result. Brownsville Vets gets the win. So Brownsville Vets, I mentioned 32-5A. We talked about this on the last show. 32-5A, being one of the weaker districts. Brownsville Vets moving to 32-5A next year is going to be huge for that whole district. I think it's going to give everyone else a team to kind of gun for and really up their games. So I think Brownsville Vets. Market right now, I'm calling it Brownsville Vets. As long as Jordan Rudd stays healthy, they're going to win the district championship in 32-5A next year. Call it right now. And for Edinburgh High, calling it right now, they're going to win the 31-6A championship next year. Yep.
So, you said you were not too surprised about this result. Was there one result from the first week that did surprise you?
One result that did surprise me. I guess Hidalgo winning was a surprise. And they won by like 14 points. They beat Rockport Fulton. I think it was 45-31. I had a chance to talk to their coach, Coach Arone there. And from what it sounds like, they pressed a lot and they ran up and down the court a lot and they just wore Rockport out by the fourth quarter. They were gassed and they just ran away from there. So props to Hidalgo. They get Crystal City, whose mayor got arrested. I just read in the news for trying to.
No, that doesn't bode well for the chances in this game.
They play Crystal City in Alice, I believe, or Falfurrias. It's Falfurrias, I believe. I'll have to double check. Props to Lady Pirates.
Well, it's good that you mentioned one of the next games because now we are going to pick all of the next games. We did this in the first round, at least for the ones that we had at the time of last week's show. I got 12 right to be the winner because I'm the man. John got 11 right and Dennis got 9 right. Mario opted not to make picks, so we're not going to let him off so easy this time around.
When was that?
So it was either the day after in the office or on the show, on the post show. You had 2 chances and you blew them both. But you know what? It's time for you to make your comeback. I'm ready.
For boys, I'll do that for boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure you will. So, for Class 6A, Friday's games, we have Brownsville Vets against Laredo Alexander at Corpus Christi Carroll High School. This game is at 7 p.m. John, who are you taking, and what do I need to know about this matchup?
What game was it? I'm sorry, I was distracted by an email.
Brownsville Vets versus Alexander.
Alexander. Alexander's running through everybody right now, especially on the Valley side, so I'm taking Alexander.
Who did they play in the first round?
They played Mac High. They beat them. I have to double check the score. It was
bad though.
Yeah, it was bad. And Laredo Alexander's on a whole other level right now in terms of, especially against Valley teams. I will say this is the third time in as many years Brownsville Vets has played Alexander in the area round. Right now they're 0-2, but I take Alexander.
Greg will take Alexander too. Then Mario, who you got? Okay. Harlingen High against Laredo United at Rio Grande City. This is interesting because Harlingen High is the team that's really good.
Yeah. Well, so is Laredo United. They split the district championship there in the 29-6A with Laredo Alexander. But these two teams have played before. They played at the Border Bash tournament around New Year's Eve, and Harlingen High beat Laredo United. It was close, but I'm going to stick with the Lady Cardinals here. They were my favorite to go the farthest of any team in the Valley. I'm sticking with them. I'm going to pick them to win.
I'll stick with them too. What are they ranked in the state now?
Number 5, I believe.
Mario, who you got?
Laredo
for Mario.
Oh, and I should notice Laredo United is coached by Rachel Carmona. She coached a longtime coach at Edinburgh High, and she was at Mission High as well. She also coached at Hidalgo many years ago. This is her first year with the Lady Longhorns there.
The revenge game.
The revenge game.
PSJA North versus Del Rio.
Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. Del Rio, from what I understand, has a 6'2 center. PSJA North's tallest player is about 5'7". So that's going to be a big mismatch for them.
She's Draymond Green, though.
Stephanie Crispin is Draymond Green. I don't know. I really don't know about this one. It's in San Antonio. That game is Friday. It's going to go either way, but I'm gonna take Del Rio in this one.
As will I. The size advantage seems pretty stout. Mario,
I'll go with small ball.
you want PSJA?
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
All
I would not be
right.
surprised if PSG North pulls off an upset. To me, they're the underdog in this game, just like as I mentioned, the size disparity. But they shoot lights out from three. They've got three players that can shoot from long range, and if their long ball's working for them, I don't see a reason why they can't win this game.
Westlaco High versus Laredo United South.
Ooh.
Valley Power here in Westlaco High.
I don't know how Laredo United is. They did beat McAllen Memorial by 3. I don't know if that's just because McAllen Memorial has size to be a good matchup against Laredo United. Westlaco High doesn't necessarily have that size. Good question. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to pick Westlaco High.
Westlaco High for John.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Lady Panthers here.
I'm going to go with United South here, I think.
Okay.
Westlaco.
Westlaco for Mario. Westlaco, here we go. Am I right? Edinburgh Vela versus Victoria East. This is also a Friday game, and we are now down to Class 5A.
Taking Westlaco East. I looked up their Max Preps page. There's a lot of
Victoria East.
Victoria East, excuse me. I say Westlaco East.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not even in the playoffs. No, Victoria East. I looked up their Max Preps page. Excuse me. I see a lot of games where they're scoring 70, close to 80 points, and as good as Jada Muhammad is, and as good as Vela has been as of late. Vela is 13-6 with Jada Muhammad. They're about a 500 team on the season. They are decidedly in the positive here. They can't. I don't know if they can score at that kind of clip. They're just not that kind of team. They're not built that way. I think Victoria East is going to get the win here.
Mission Vets. Oh, I'm sorry, Mario. Who do you want?
Victoria East.
I'll take Victoria East too. Mission Vets versus Flower Bluff at Texas A&M Kingsville.
Flower Bluff. I'm taking Flower Bluff.
Anything we know about them, or just?
I don't know much about them, but I know that last year they played Mission Vets. Excuse me, they played Sheridan High in the area around last year and made short work of them. So I think that 29-5A is just on a 35A. Excuse me, is on a bit higher of a plane than 31-5A teams are.
Rio Grande City gets a crack at a Laredo school. This is Laredo Figueroa.
Yeah, Figueroa went undefeated in this district. They were the champions there. They're 30-6 overall this season. They're 10-2 against Valley teams. They've only lost to Harlingen and Westlaco. They played Westlaco 3 times though, and they were 2-1 against Westlaco. And I think they're going to beat Rio Grande City as well.
Mario, I assumed that you were taking Flower Bluff, and I also assume you're taking Figueroa.
You are correct.
Okay.
I should say though, for Rio Grande City, they did beat Pace on Wednesday. That was their first playoff win in program history. So
congrats to them.
Shouts to Lady Rattlers for them. That was a big win.
Sherilyn High versus Victoria West.
I don't know much about Victoria West, but in talking to Sherilyn coach Dale Whitaker, he says that they're athletic and they're fast. So to me, it's all going to be about their bigs and trying to control the tempo. I'm just gonna go. I guess I should. You know what? Give me Sherilyn. I gotta go. I don't.
Damn it! I was gonna take that.
We're all picking the same here, so just to be different, give me Sherilyn.
Well, guess what? I'm taking Sherilyn too. It was just a gut call. Mario?
I'm going against Sherilyn.
Okay, you're gonna go with Victoria West.
Victoria West. Yep. If Sherilyn High size just dominates the glass and helps them control the tempo of the game, I think that'll help them. They're going to be their key to success.
Hidalgo versus Crystal City.
First of all. Shouts to Crystal City. That's a hell of a name for a town.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go Crystal City here. I looked up their stuff on Max Preps and their resumes.
Mayor and all.
Mayor, arrested mayor and all. But their resume is more impressive than Hidalgo. So yeah, Crystal City gets the win.
Lady Pirates play CC at Alice.
Well, there you have it, folks. Breaking news. Apparently at Alice.
Yes, at Alice.
Mario, you will also take Crystal City?
I will.
Okay.
Just because.
And the one everyone's been waiting for, Edinburgh Idea Quest versus Odom at Falfurious High School.
That is a good one. I'm looking up Odom right now.
Is it?
I'm looking at why it's a good. Shouts to Edinburgh Idea Quest for winning their first playoff game last week. I will say I'm going to take Odom. Just looking at here at their Max Preps page, they went undefeated in their district. They were in their 19-4 overall. Edinburgh Idea Quest, they played a lot of 5As and 6A teams during preseason to get their team ready, but I don't think they're going to be ready enough for Odom. I'm taking Odom.
Yeah, Lamar Odom's almost 7 feet tall. Spent some time with the Lakers. I don't think there's any way.
Yeah, but like he is coming off of like a serious, medical.
True.
Medical
I still
injury.
don't think he can hang with Idea Quest can hang with Lamar Odom. Mario, who do you want?
Odom.
Lamar Odom it is.
Okay.
All right.
The Lamar Odoms. What would their team name be? I mean, the Lamar.
I'm
Odom,
sure as of late there's some offensive things we could come up with, but I just think it's best to.
The Lamar Odom Rehabilitation Centers.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Or the Lamar. Never mind. I'm gonna stop.
See,
there.
I told you this was a dangerous path.
I'm gonna stop.
It's good we don't have sponsors.
And it's good that we are going to switch over to voice.
You say
chat
that,
now.
but we have to pause for a commercial read. This episode of the RGVSports.com podcast
Live read
is brought to you by. I don't know about you, Greg. But whenever I feel the drudges of life getting me down, I always check myself into Valley Rehabilitation Clinic.
It's good that we're getting the boringness of the live read without any of the money.
If you want
Good.
if you want to get back on the right path, go to ValleyRehabilitationClinic.com, click on the microphone, and type in RGVSports.com.
Type in RGV Sports.
JK.
Promo code.
I don't know if there is a real
RGV
such thing as a Valley Rehabilitation Clinic. There might be. Here, while we talk about boys, I'll Google it and see if
Yeah,
that's a
you
thing.
have-
And if
you
not,
have time to-
if it isn't a thing, I'm going to buy the website rights right now. So if there ever is one, they got to pay me.
You have time to get yourself together and do some research and come back strong later in the show.
Right.
While I talked, hey, is that Brock Lesnar? Anyway, Mario's on Twitter. I just saw Brock Lesnar. Anyway, wow, I'm really distracted now. For the boys, we got to talk about how the regular season finished out and the playoff picture that resulted. In District 36A, they ended up with a three-way tie, and they're going to have a round-robin tiebreaker deal now. So my understanding is that La Jolla beat Juarez Lincoln and Magpie lost to Palmview. So 3 teams looking for 2 spots finished tied at 4-8. How did this play out? Is this what you expected? What do you expect going forward? Take me through 36A, Mario.
I expected a closer game with between Palmview and Mackay. Mackay simply didn't show up. You could see their inexperience playing in this kind of a make-or-break game for them. La Jolla High upset Juarez Lincoln. I call it an upset because Juarez Lincoln was higher up in the standings, at least by 1 game, and had been playing better as of late. But Palmview avoided this mess by winning yesterday. They had, I think they outscored Mackay 13-2 or 13-3 in the second quarter, 25-12 in the second half, and ran away with it by the third quarter. La Jolla High will now play Juarez Lincoln again on Thursday, and then Friday the winner of that game plays Mackay. And that's my parents calling.
Oh, it's good that they're keeping an eye on you.
They're probably watching.
Oh yeah, true.
And then so whoever wins on Friday between Mackay and the winner Juarez Lincoln La Jolla will play. I think I have it right here. They play the winner of. Let's see, I think it's Laredo Alexander, I believe. I'm trying to pull it up right now.
It's Laredo somebody. You would think that being
Laredo
the 4th
somebody.
seed, you would think that being the 4th seed, they would have a tough go in that one. It's not going to be easy for whoever it is to come through against one of the top teams. But who do you think it will be that pulls out of this? You know what? We'll save it for when we have to make the picks game by game. I also want to ask you what happened that Westica East ended up taking the final spot in 31-6A. How did they close out the year? What had to happen for them to hold on, and what does that mean for them going forward?
Wesco High clinched, even though they lost 3 in a row heading into this game. So Palmview had also lost 3 in a row, but they won to secure the spot yesterday. Wesco East got it, even though they lost 3 in a row, and clinched it after Friday's loss to Edinburgh North.
Okay.
And so this game really didn't have much impact, I think.
They essentially backed in, but
Yeah,
they did win their last game, it looks like.
Yeah, and you have a page. So Wesco East had a bit of a slide there at the end. They secured the 4th spot and had the tie with Edinburgh High, who they had lost to. I think they were swept by Edinburgh High, and that's how Edinburgh High ended up with the 3rd seed.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so now, and then in 31-5A, Roma and Valley View held off Sherry Ellen High, who it seemed like was about to make a late move. What happened there? Did the Rattlers ever really have a chance of coming through in this one, or how did the end of the season play out in 31-5A?
Sherry Lynn, you're talking about Sherry Lynn?
Yeah, they were the team that was challenging for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
They had thrown a monkey wrench in there.
Yeah, they were rolled out after last Friday's loss to Edinburgh Villa, where I think they lost by like 25 points to Villa. Villa won yesterday or Tuesday and then clinched their first ever, they secured their first ever undefeated district season in year 4. And Sherry Lynn had slipped off before then, so this game didn't really have much of an impact on either team. The playoff picture had been pretty much set going into Tuesday, except maybe seeding, because in 31-5A we had Valley View and Roma, so Valley View had won that. I think the only coin flip was in 32-6A, which we will get to later, but yeah.
Well, in 32-5A, it was Porter, I believe, who held off Donna High and Ed Couch also for the final spot.
Yeah.
Were there ever any challenge there from Donna High or Red Couch? Was it interesting coming down to the final game, or was that one also pretty much decided early?
That one was decided. I think there was some confusion as to Donna's record. I had coaches texting me, asking me what the record was. Couldn't get a hold of their coach, so there was some confusion. But from what I was able to piece together, Porter was kind of locked in there in the fourth spot. They made it official by beating Ed Couch Elsa, and Donna High had something. They had like an uphill battle just going into the final game, going up against the district champions, Brownsville Pace Vikings,
and lost by 14. It looks like
Yeah.
in that one. So they end up on. So Porter ends up being the team that's in, and then both Donna and Ed Couch end up on the outside.
Yes.
So I guess with that, there's no reason to get through any more of this regular season talk because we have plenty of playoff games and play-in games to talk about. Let's start with the play-in tournament. La Jolla High and La Jolla Juarez Lincoln will play at McAllen Row. Who wins that game?
I am pulling up the schedule right now, so we're going.
We're just going top to bottom, kid.
Let's see.
So it's La Jolla High against La Jolla Juarez Lincoln at
Okay.
McAllen Row to start off the play-in tournament.
I have Juarez Lincoln in that game.
Now they are the one that just won the matchup between the two of them, or
They
not?
lost. I don't see them losing 2 in a row.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to go with the team that just won.
Yeah.
John.
Since I don't know too much about boys basketball, I'm going to do this in an entertaining way. I'm just going to go who I think who would win in a fight between the mascots.
Wow.
So we got the Huskies and the Coyotes. Both are dogs.
It's going to be Coyotes.
I think, yeah, I'm taking the Coyotes because, Huskies are big, but, Coyotes live out in the wild and they're scrappy. They got to fend for themselves. They got to be carnivorous. Huskies, they're kind of fluffy. They're kind of tame,
John's absolutely going to win this way. You know this, right? Okay.
So I'm taking La Jolla.
McAllen High versus La Jolla High, Juarez Lincoln winner. Do you think McAllen High ends up coming out of this thing? Yes or no is essentially how we'll handle that.
No.
Okay, so I'll just put a no here.
Yeah,
John, this is tough for you. You got to pit them against two animals.
Well, I think whoever McAllen High has to play, Bulldogs versus
They're scrappy.
Yeah, but a Husky still has size, and a Coyote would just maim it to death. So yeah, whoever they play, I'm taking Mac High as a loser.
All right, I'm going to go with
Solely based on the fact that they're the Bulldogs.
I think Mac High's going to come out of this thing. I don't know. I just got a feeling on that one. They seem like they've surged a little bit late in the year. True or false?
Yeah, and then lost they allowed Palm Beach to double the score.
Well, you know what? Sometimes that'll happen. All right, McAllen Row versus Laredo United South at Roma, Mario. Who do we got in this one? What do we know about this matchup?
I know that Rowe has played better than last season. Last season they lost in the first round. I think they will get over the hump with this group that's been in the bi-district round already. A year ago, I think they'll be able to beat United South, who I know nothing about.
Do they have the same kind of issues as the girls do in terms of going up against Laredo year to year?
I forget who they played last year, but this season I think they were able to overcome their issues in terms of just scoring, because last year they depended a lot on the long ball, and this season they have a more developed offensive attack, so I think they have a better chance of beating United South when they square off Monday, I believe it is.
You know what? I'll go with Roshu. You talked me into it. John?
Rowe are the Warriors, and United South are the Panthers. This is tough because that's close hand-to-hand combat, pretty much right there, right?
It's got to be.
Now if these are the Warriors, do they have bow and arrows? Can they fire from a distance, or do they just have hatchets or something? Where they got to get up close.
They do the tomahawk chop.
That's racist, first of all.
I'm just saying.
I'm going. This is really tough. Man has tamed beasts before, so I'm going to go with McAllen Row.
Wow, thanks. Porter against Vela. Oh, I know where you're going with this one. This is a Vela pick all the way, right?
Oh yeah. As I'm hoping that I think Vela's going to steal something from Porter's playbook.
John, man versus beast again. Sabercats against Cowboys.
Oh man, Sabercats would just maul a Cowboy to death. Yes, absolutely.
Easy Vela pick.
Easy Vela pick.
PSJA High against Sherilyn Pioneer. Mario, what am I looking at here?
Ooh.
You are looking at a consistent PSJ team that has made the playoffs 4 years in a row, despite 4 head coaches, and the Sherilyn Pioneer team on the up and up. They were second in district, and I think 31-5A is a tougher district just because of Vela's in it. And I have Pioneer over PSJ simply because they played in a tougher district in 32-5A. I wasn't too impressed by them this year.
You like Pioneer. I think I will lean your way and go Pioneer. I don't like that 4 coaches in 4 years thing. John just Googled, are bears immune to snake venom? What did you learn?
I didn't see anything, but if the PSG High, if PSG High were the Honey Badgers, I would absolutely take them because Honey Badgers eat cobras to survive.
John's going with Pioneer.
Since bears have size, but all it takes is one bite from a Diamondback and that venom's in you, you're a goner. So I'm taking Pioneer in this one.
We have Rio Hondo versus West Oso getting down to Class 4A. You can make this one quick. I don't know much about these teams. Do you?
Yes, I covered Rio Hondo once in football. I actually did a feature on them.
Football. Okay.
And the town is so small. I remember one of the kids was saying how I think they have one McDonald's, the Stripes, and a couple of stop signs.
Does that bode well for a matchup with West Oso?
I don't think so because I think just leaving anywhere bigger than Rio Hondo, San Benito area might frighten them.
I will trust you on that one, although that's offensive. Santa Gertrudis Academy.
Hey! I haven't made my pick.
Go ahead.
We got Bears versus Bobcats. I'm taking Bears. That's West Oso. They got size and they got strength. Bobcats are puny.
Easy.
Compared to a Bear.
Santa Gertrudis Academy at Lyford.
I'm going with Lyford.
Lyford sounds good.
Do we know what Santa Gertrude?
No, of course we don't.
I'm looking it up right now.
Lavia versus Port Aransas. You can get caught up whenever you're ready.
Port Aransas is the 1 seed.
Okay.
Oh, it's Lions versus Bulldogs. Give me Santa Gertrudis. Gertrudis, however you pronounce it. What's the other one?
Oh my God, Lyford.
No.
Port Aransas and Lavia.
Well,
You got to go with your ants, right?
No, Lavia's the Cardinals. Progressive's the
Oh, I'm
Ants.
sorry. My bad.
Oh, the Marlins versus the Cardinals. Oh man, who? That's weird. This is like
Your time is running out.
It's like a water Pokemon versus a flying Pokemon. Like who would win? Like Staryu.
Doesn't flying always win?
Who would win? Staryu or Pidgeotto?
I thought flying had strength against the
But but this is like a Cardinal can't generate that much. We got Marlins here. Give me a Marlin. Give me the Marlins
I don't know what
here.
that means. Which team is that?
It's Port Aransas.
Whatever.
Aransas.
I
Whatever.
spelled it differently every
Whatever.
single time I typed it on this page.
Their team name's dumb.
Harlingen High versus Westaco High.
Westaco High, they're the district champs.
Oh yeah, it's a team you like, really balanced, well-rounded. Does Harlingen High do anything that could give them problems though?
They have size. That's as much as I know about them. I haven't seen them play this year, but traditionally they have size. But I think Westaco might be the deepest team in the Valley 1 through 15.
Yeah, we really like them, I think, on this show.
A panther would swallow a cardinal one bite, so Westaco easily.
Easy Westaco High. McAllen Memorial versus Del Rio, which I believe is the Rams. And
Yes, the Rams.
At Texas A&M International.
McAllen Memorial district champs.
Those are your guys.
2-time district champs. They have DJ Johnson, who will be in the running for Player of the Year when it's all said and done this year.
Yeah,
teaser.
they boast a very non-valley size sort of advantage.
6'4",
against a lot of
6'5".
teams.
6'4",
I don't know
6'6",
what Del Rio
7".
boasts in that way, but I know that certainly they should be able to stack up against most teams that they'll face.
Word.
John?
Rams have that battery power, they have strength, but you got to catch up with the Mustang to hit it first. The Mustangs are pretty fast, so I'm going with Memorial.
I think he's cheating because he knows McAllen Memorial's good at basketball. Westaco East at Los Fresnos.
Los Fresnos, top-seeded team, 32-6A, really tough district. Westaco East barely made it in by default, it seems, losing 3 in a row.
That's true. They did kind of back
So,
in. I don't like that. I'm going with Los Fresnos, too.
Los Fresnos overtook Brownsville Veterans for the top spot in that district, and it's state ranked.
A Wildcat and a Falcon, this could go either way, but cats eat birds all the time, so Westaco East.
Wow, what the upset of the cinch coming
I'm
from
going
John.
strictly based on who would win in a matchup between logos.
Brownsville Veterans Memorial at Edinburgh High, Mario.
Which one?
Brownsville Veterans Memorial at Edinburgh High, Mario.
Texting my mom. Brownsville Veterans Memorial, Edinburgh High.
Mom's important. I can
Yeah.
get on board with that.
Yeah, it's midnight over there. Brownsville Vets, 2-seed Edinburgh, 3-seed Edinburgh, shorthanded, undermanned. They don't think they have enough to keep up with Brownsville Vets.
Brownsville Veterans is a team that seems like they've had a pretty good year, but I think I might just go with Edinburgh High here.
Yeah.
Periscope, JP on Periscope wants to go with Edinburgh High, so I'll lean with him. He's our guy on this.
Bobcats versus Chargers. Bobcats are fierce and feisty, but they're pretty small, and Chargers are just going to stampede over them. So I'm
Brownsville
taking Brownsville
Veterans
Vets.
it is. Edinburgh North at Harlingen South.
Edinburgh North, they have Kobe Patterson, who should be their mascot.
What's
the
up
next
with
season.
Harlingen South? What do I need to know about them?
Harlingen South, if they weren't a top-ranked team, they're the number 10 team in our top 10 poll. Entered the year as such. They went 3 rounds deep last year.
But they lost a bunch of kids from that team.
Yeah, they gave Mackay a run last season. whereas Edinburgh North has their big three led by Kobe Patterson, and Edinburgh North fell a game shy of splitting the share of the 31-6A title.
You know what? I'm going to use John's system for this one. John, who are you taking?
Who are my options again? Remind me.
Edinburgh North and Harlingen South.
Cougars versus Hawks.
Another land versus air matchup.
Another land versus air matchup. That's tough.
That's got to be Harlingen South.
You know, but Cougars are pretty agile. Like, Cougars live in mountains and know how to climb up trees, so they can get
This
birds.
is true.
So I'm gonna go with Edinburgh North here.
All right, Valley View against Brownsville Pace.
Brownsville Pace, 32-5A champions. Valley View having a great season. I think it's their first playoff appearance in a decade, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe ever. I think, because the program's only 8-9 years old. And Brownsville Pace has been together, this starting unit, for 4 years now, so I think they win pretty easily.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty promising resume. I'll go with Pace.
Tigers versus Vikings. Could this be a real pay-per-view matchup?
Yeah, that's a real classic battle.
When they invent a time machine, I'm going to go back in time and bring a tiger with me and watch
There's
Vikings.
a History Channel show about
Well,
that.
they say
right?
they're going to make the
Something like
DeLorean
that.
again, right? That they're
Huh?
going to make the DeLorean.
Yeah, I'll make the DeLorean. I'll hop my DeLorean. I'll go back in time.
This will be one of the first
I'll bring a
things
tiger
you-
with me. This will be one of the first things that I do.
We're hitting the flex capacitor.
This is really tough. Vikings, they were more hand-to-hand combat kind of guys, and Tigers are, Tigers are. How many Tigers are there versus Vikings today? Seems like Tigers outlasted Vikings. So
Wow, that's brilliant.
I'm gonna go with Tigers.
I didn't even think about it from that angle, but I like it. Mercedes.
Also,
versus
Tigers are
Roma.
my favorite animal. Second favorite animal. Polar bears are my favorite.
Yeah,
Anyways,
manatees are the best animal. Mercedes versus Roma.
I think this is one of the more even matchups that in 5A, 6A.
How's Roma Shack doing?
Roma
Roma
Shack.
Shack has been doing well.
Didn't we talk
Roma
about?
Shack.
Didn't we talk about how Roma was slumping a little bit down the stretch? They hit a rough patch there, didn't they?
They did, and I think Mercedes has been the more consistent team. They only lost to Brownsville Pace. They lost them twice, so I'll have Mercedes in this one.
Can Roma Shack change his Twitter handle to Roma Shack and then change his name legally to Roma Shack?
I don't know if the.
I don't think anyone's adopting any of these because on Twitter I put Ever Bettis, the player affectionately known as the Spanish Kobe, on the RGV Sports podcast.
So we went from Vikings versus Tigers to Gladiators versus Tigers.
Similar theory.
Similar theory. Man.
Gladiators are a little more fierce than the Vikings, I think.
Well,
They were
that's
born and
true.
bred for combat.
That's very true. They were. And
I'm going with Roma because I think I take 31-5A over 32-5A when I'm in doubt.
And it's not the Gladiators' fault that Rome fell apart. So I give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to take the Gladiators here.
Roma it is.
And Greg's going against Ray Ricon, who I did a story on a couple weeks ago.
I still think I could guard that
And
kid.
Greg thinks that he could guard Ray Rincon, who's one of the top 5 or 10 scorers in the Valley. And if he's listening, I'd like to say that we should set that up.
I've never played any kind of basketball at any kind of good level, but you know what?
Greg-
LaFeria versus Sinton.
LaFerrier top seed.
LaFeria's the top seed. Okay, I don't know if that's enough for me, but you know what? I'll put LaFeria. They seem to be having a really good year.
LaFerrier was the top seed, and they beat out Hidalgo and Rio Hondo, and it was pretty tight there at the end. So I think I'm impressed with them because they were able to win despite a coaching change. Their coach left mid-season to go, I think, work as a border patrol.
At LaFeria, this is?
The LaFerrier coach
Wow.
texted me before it happened. They transitioned, their assistant took over, and they lost to Hidalgo, but looked good against Hidalgo, who was there too for the district title run.
John?
We got the Lions versus the Pirates. I think
So many animal versus man.
I know, we do. I think the Pirates are going to commandeer their ship and swap their poop deck. So I'm taking Sinton.
Wow, that was awesome. Hidalgo versus Rockport Fulton, Mario.
It's Pirates versus Pirates.
Hidalgo is back even after losing Frankie Sanchez. How did they do it?
They lost Frankie Sanchez and replaced him with Frankie Sanchez. There's another Frankie Sanchez.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, freshman. So
Are we sure they didn't just make
No, I
him
asked
fail
them.
his senior
I
year?
asked them. I wasn't sure if they were trying to.
They
get
redshirted
biased.
the Sanchez.
Yeah. I'll go with Hidalgo just because I think they're. You can see them as a district champion. They're going up against the number 3 team.
It's a team that's been there before. Obviously, not all the guys, but I think I'll take them.
It's Pirates versus Pirates, literally. So I'm going to take Hidalgo. Why not?
Wow, nice. I was worried that was going to happen soon. Refugio versus San Perlita.
San Perlita District Champs 32-2A.
Is that the team?
Dethroned San Isidro, yes. Yeah.
Is that Leo Lara's team?
Leo Lara plays for Santa Rosa.
Okay, my bad. San Perlita, we don't know anything. I'll go with them.
We do. District
San
Champs.
Perlita, we got the Trojans versus the Bobcats.
San Perlita's number 2, excuse me.
I'm taking San Perlita. Trojans versus Bobcats. I feel like Trojans get that one. If it was a fiercer cat, maybe like a saber cat, I might take Refugio, but not a Bobcat. You got to be a little bit more badass than that to go down against the Trojans. So.
We got one more 6A matchup here, which is TBD, and this is La Jolla Palmview versus Laredo Alexander, Mario.
And I will go with Laredo Alexander, the 2 seed. Even though I haven't seen him, just in this case, I'm picking him, just giving him the benefit of the doubt because of the 2 seed.
What's up with Palmview? What do we know about that?
Palmview won on Tuesday to snap a 3-game skid, so I think that's part of my.
So they're
hesitance to
trending the
pick
wrong
them.
way? Okay.
Yeah.
I will go with Laredo Alexander, too.
It's the Bulldogs versus the Lobos. Lobos is Spanish for wolves, and wolves would mess up a Bulldog any day of the week. Also, have you ever heard speaking of Lobos, the Timberwolves in the NBA, Ricky Rubio plays for them. He's from Spain. Have you ever heard that the call, there's a Spanish announcer who calls Timberwolves games sometimes? There's a YouTube clip. Like, Ricky Rubio just gets like a mundane layup, and and the announcer's like, Ricky Rubio, Los Lobos! It's like the second quarter. Like, there's like, and this guy's like going nuts. But,
He's a soccer announcer. What?
Yeah, it must be.
Plugged in for basketball.
Los Lobos.
We
Yeah,
are-
give me Palmview.
We are coming down the stretch here with Beeville and Zapata.
Bevo.
Beeville it is. Oh,
Please tell me Beeville is the Bees, right? They have to be.
I gotta wait for John to make his damn pick.
Hang on here.
Bevo's the top seed.
Trojans. And then who is Zapata?
Zapata's the 4 seed.
No, but like, what's their mascot? So we got the Trojans against the Hawks. Ooh,
I'm
Trojans.
amazed that 7 people are
Beeville.
watching.
Give me the Trojans.
Santa Maria versus Woodsboro.
Santa Maria District Champs.
Santa Maria for me too then, if that's the way we're going with this.
Yeah, they
John?
dethroned San Isidro.
Woodsboro.
Had San Isidro won it many years in a row?
Yeah.
Woodsboro's the Eagles. Who's the other one?
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria. They're the Cougars, right?
Who could ever know that?
Yeah, they're the Cougars. It's the Cougars versus the Eagles. Ooh. Give me the Cougars.
Which one's that again?
Cats eat birds. It's,
That's Santa Maria or no?
no, it's Woodsboro.
It's Woodsboro. Okay. Corpus Christi, London versus San Isidro.
San Isidro. That's it.
That's all you gotta say about
Yeah.
it?
What's San Isidro's mascot?
Mario seems really sure on these picks, so I'm going with them.
Tigers.
San Isidro Tigers?
Yeah.
And it's Pirates, apparently.
Yeah, it's Pirates. Pirates versus Tigers. We've already had something similar to this, so yeah.
Well, it depends. It's home court advantage. The Tiger wouldn't do well on a ship.
Yeah, well, Tigers can. Tigers don't even really swim. Trivia question: what is the only big cat that swims?
The Bobcat.
No,
The leopard.
no. Leopards climb in trees though with their prey, which is pretty cool. Jaguars are the only prey. They're the only big cat that swims.
But now you know, people.
Now you know. So I'm going to take since Tigers can't swim, even on land or water. I think Pirates. That's a favorable matchup because at least Pirates have like guns. They can at least shoot. So
They do?
yeah,
Yeah, Pirates have guns.
Pirates have guns. Like
Rifles,
they're not.
like-
Yeah, little.
It takes a while to load it.
Yeah, a little pistol.
They got guns.
The bullets aren't very effective.
You
They're
never
pretty-
seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah,
I've seen Hook.
they fire guns. Even though they had guns and Hook, didn't they? Anyways, Pirates. So that's
Last thing I need from you guys is an upset alert pick.
Corpus Christi, London. Oh gosh.
John last week nailed his Edinburgh over Mercedes 41-37, as we talked about earlier in the show. Mario failed his. He had Mercedes over Pace.
I fell.
And Pace
I
beat
didn't
Mercedes 72-56.
You had your chances, Mark.
So now we have picked every game already, but you guys got to tell me which one you would like to hang your hat on as the upset.
Oh man. Well, for me, let Mario go first because he has some Valley on Valley teams. He has some frame of reference here. I have no Valley teams playing Valley teams right now, so give me a second to look here real quick.
So Mario, what do you think? It seemed like you went with the favorite in a lot of these games. We just kind of breezed through these picks. There wasn't one where I felt like you really stepped out of the box and wanted to make a statement here.
Yeah, the statement is I want to win. That's the statement.
Well, when it's football season, you get all mad about that sort of thing. So
But I finished number 1 4 years in a row now.
I'm just saying.
At least 3 years in a row.
How about Which one of these would qualify as an upset?
1 against 4. 2-3 is too close.
How about the Edinburgh, North Harlingen South thing?
Nah, there's no way Cody Patterson lets him lose.
What would that? I'm saying which team is favored?
Edinburgh North.
Oh, okay.
2 against 3. You're gonna have to go 1 versus 4.
Well, okay. Maybe you don't pick the team to lose, but who do you think is in danger? Maybe that's how you would define an upset alert.
Who is in danger of losing?
If you can't pick one outright, then at least give me a team that's in danger.
I would say, okay, this is my upset. Edinburgh High over Brownsville Veterans.
What is the matchup there?
2 versus 3. Edinburgh's 3rd.
Edinburgh High over Brownsville Veterans. Okay, why?
I think they have been able to string together quality wins despite not having a full team. They were down to 8 players when I last saw them a couple weeks ago. And Brownsville Veterans, I think, has been slumping, even though they're second in district and we're state ranked. It might be still state ranked. I think Edinburgh High has done more with less, whereas Brownsville Veterans, you could argue, has kind of let down some people, slipping from 1 and 2, and which would be even more of an upset if they held on to that one spot. But I think Edinburgh High might be able to sneak up on Veterans.
Edinburgh High provided you your only upset win of the season when you picked them to win that game that they were probably favored in. So I guess they are going to allow you to do that yet again.
Context.
John, who is your pick?
Well, here's the thing. Do you want me to pick a Valley team or a non-Valley team here?
As long as somebody's going to get upset, I don't care.
Oh, man. You know, I'm going to put Weslaco High on upset alert. I picked them to win, but I don't. It's just because I don't know enough about Laredo United. Weslaco High has had a very successful season, but their flaw is they're not very big. They don't have much interior size. If Laredo United has a big girl, which I'm not sure if they do, let me check their max price page real quick. Let me see if they have, because sometimes
this is Laredo United South, right?
Yeah, Laredo United South. Let me see their max price page real quick, because maybe if there's like some height on here, if there's like a girl anywhere near 6 foot, I might pick them to.
Rick, if I had told you at the start of the show that 7 people would be watching at 2 a.m., what would you have told me?
Seems about right. We're wildly popular.
All right, since I don't know enough about Laredo United South, I'll make Weslaco the upset pick of the week. Just because, again, I don't know what Laredo United South looks like. That might just be an unfavorable matchup at the playoffs, right? It's all about matchups and how you can exploit other teams' weaknesses. Weslaco has a weakness in the fact they don't have an inside game. If Laredo does, that might spell trouble for the Panthers here.
So that is one of the things you guys can keep an eye on this week. We have told you about everything you can keep an eye on this week. Literally all of the games. So
well, actually, no. There's Brownsville Frontier. There's Monte Alto, whose coach I haven't been able to get a hold of. And
all of the games that we know of.
Yes.
We have discussed in detail so far on this show. So we are going to get ready to call it a week here. As Mario said, it is 2 a.m., and we appreciate those of you who have hung out with us and those of you who have made it through our show on the podcast, although we were wildly entertaining, so that shouldn't be that much to ask.
There's more still.
No?
Rest, you have track or whatever.
Yeah, swimming and diving they have their state meet this weekend. They're in Austin. Be safe to all the swimmers and divers who are heading up there, and best of luck. Track and field is this week. We got a meet at PSJ Stadium on Friday, and there's a meet at Donna on my side, and I think there's a meet at LaFerry as well on Saturday. So.
And wrestling is this week. This weekend, Royal Grand City's coming off a big showing at regionals. 5A in general, the top 3 teams at regionals were Valley teams, which I think is really impressive considering the Valley typically struggles in team sports at any type of regional tournament, and yet they swept top 3 spots. Rio Grande City's girls became the second Valley program to win a regional tournament and the first Valley girls team to win.
Cool.
And they are going to go to state. Last year's 3 Valley wrestlers places state, all 3 girls, 2 of them 95-pounders. Those 2 return. It's
awesome.
Rio Grande City's Alette Gonzalez and Juarez Lincoln's Leslie Oliva, and they return for their final go-around at state. So keep an eye out on those. Rio Grande City girls should do well. Juarez Lincoln girls should do well. And the boys, it might be Weslaco High that does well, even though they're taking 2 wrestlers. Both of them won their respective weight classes last week at regionals.
There you go.
And in soccer, on the boys' side, Valley View lost to Sherryland. Those are 2 of our top 3 teams in the top 10. And Valley View lost on an own goal, which is unfortunate. But Sherryland High looks like one of the top teams, if not the top team in the Valley behind Brownsville Porter. And on the girls' side, our number 1 and number 2 teams met last week, and Sharyland High beat Sharyland Pioneer in penalty kicks. So those 2 teams, obviously that's 4 teams from 31-6A, so they'll meet again in the second round. So we'll see how those matchups play out.
Yep.
And softball's underway too. First week.
Well, baseball's about to start, right? They haven't
Baseball's
started
next
yet.
week. Softball starting. 1 non-district game in the books Tuesday.
We're all busy.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Look out for tournaments. There's 5 of them. 2 of them in the Valley. 1 in Donna, the other in Mission. Mission, is my understanding, will be maybe the more competitive or the deepest. I'm not sure, but last year was, and this year they have teams from all over the Valley competing there, so it should be good.
You can find all of that madness on RGVSports.com. You can find it all on Twitter at RGVSports. You can find it all on Facebook at RGVSports.com. You can find it on my personal Twitter account for some things at Greg Luca. You can find it at Mario's personal Twitter account.
I thought your personal one was not Greg Luca.
No, that's not me.
Okay.
You can find it on Mario's personal Twitter account where?
Mario_Aguirre.
And at John's personal Twitter account.
At John Filet.
That's what she ordered. And we'll be back next week, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yep. Next week, girls basketball might just be over entirely. You never know.
You don't tell
What round
that.
is
Don't
it?
say that to the people.
Huh?
What round would it be?
JP, I got your picks on Twitter. I'll be watching.
Friday, regional quarterfinals be Monday or Tuesday.
To be 4th round?
3rd round.
You can make 3rd round. You'll have, I think, 3 teams maybe.
Well,
That seems like how it works every year.
last year we only had 1.
Oh.
The PSJA North.
Yes, PSG North. So we'll see. If anyone, I think Harlingen, Harlingen, Weslaco, and PSG North are probably the 3 best bets to do it. I think only maybe one of them ends up.
Mario, I'm trying to figure out what you were reading about Brock Lesnar. I Twittered it earlier.
Well, the part that what really kind of threw me off was that one of my favorite homes in LA was donated. And I don't know, you might know him, John. Jimmy Goldstein sits courtside for the Lakers and Clippers games.
Oh no! What is he?
He's been there like 30 years. A lot of people don't know what he is. I think he might be in the fashion, but
He saw Jimmy Hoffa die.
he has one of my favorite homes in LA. $17 million. Last time I checked, it was around $17 million. It was worth that. He bought it in the 70s, and a lot of some music videos have been filmed there. A lot of fashion shoots, or just a lot of models are taking photos there. I think it's a really, really nice house, and he's up there in age, and I guess he donated it, and it's valued at $40 million, around 20 something for the home.
He donated for what?
To the LA City Museum of Arts.
Really?
So around 20 mil, 22 mil for the house, and 17 for maintenance. And he calls it a conservative figure. And if you see the house, I think it's the nicest house ever. It's top 5 home of all time.
Top 5 home.
Look.
Would the number? Oh man. Would the number 1 home of all time be the White House?
No, I think it's underwhelming.
What have you been? I haven't been.
When I had an internship in DC, and they had Hispanic Heritage Month in November.
That's March?
No.
No, March is Women's History Month.
October, November.
Okay.
So I went. This was under the Bush administration.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I go there, and I liked it, but I wasn't really wowed by it. And then I went into the Rose Garden, and we're just standing there. And then they say, the President of the United States, and then everyone stands up, and that's where you kind of feel where you are. And he was probably 15 feet away. And we're just off on the side, and everyone was sitting, and they presented their whole Hispanic thing. It was like a half hour, and then I think we took a selfie before selfies were a word.
You got a selfie with Bush?
No, this was after.
Oh, you'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't really know why you're trying to get these pictures. That's
Here's the thing,
my terrible Bush impression.
I think if you want to visit the White House as a civilian, you have to send in your information 2 weeks before, and they do a background check.
Oh yeah.
But as a member of the media, we were able to do it 24 hours before.
Sweet.
So you send your social, and then they approve you, and you get in. And I guess a couple of years ago, Shaq tried to go without sending anything and trying to go in using his celebrity, and they didn't let him.
No exceptions. Now, what if Roma Shack tried to go? You think they'd let Roma Shack in?
Roma Shack is not as towering of a figure, so maybe not.
I'm trying to get out of here. Before we go, any questions?
Well, JPS, what's up?
What's up? I saw your stuff on Twitter. Thanks for sending that my way. I'll go over it, and we'll try and get you included on stuff next week.
Oh yeah, when does All Area Antelope Valley? It'll be a couple weeks after the end of the season, right?
Yeah, look forward in March. It'll probably run, at least for girls, early part of March. So
For boys, I would say the front runners will be DJ Johnson of McAllen Memorial. You have maybe the two players from Vela with Ryan Garza and Hector Ruiz.
I have
Of Edinburgh North, Cody Patterson, Edinburgh North. And it might come down to them.
I've got an idea of who is probably going to get the award. The playoffs do have to be considered as well, so I just want to see how the playoffs work themselves out. So,
Word.
because gosh, if what if Edinburgh IdeaQuest wins the state championship and someone just goes ham and scores 50 points a game?
True.
Is she all metro area? Is she all metro player there? Or all area?
All area, maybe.
Nah,
Maybe.
we'll see. Yeah, look for that in March, early March for girls, about a week or two after for boys. So.
Oh, and tomorrow is Greg's 2-year anniversary at the Monitor.
Holy snap! You're right. I
Oh,
forgot.
it's today.
What day is today? Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, it is.
February 18th.
I did it, guys. I made it 2 years.
My first day was October 14th.
Reminds me, I gotta start looking for jobs. No, I'm just kidding.
Mine was, you're not kidding, mine was
Yeah, that's not start.
June. I came from Browntown,
Peace out, everybody. I'm gonna stop the
And-
thing.
Browntown.
and I drove here every day for a week to move my things. And it took longer than I thought. I thought it would be 1 or 2 days, and it took a week. And it was tiring driving every day.